Hello, welcome to No Dumb Idea. I'm your host, Dala, repping King Kong, and I'm joined by my co-hosts, if they would like to...
Hello, this is like a very sultry, jazzy... Hello, thank you for joining us. I'm Gibbledang. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that I'm team... Is that a spoiler? Should I not say that? Team Moth.
Oh, yeah.
No, that's fine.
It's a little bit of a spoiler, but
Well,
that's
now
why
it's a
we're here.
spoiler.
Right, bleep it.
Yeah.
And then once we spoil it,
Yeah, well.
then I'll say we'll just say what team I'm on.
What the bleep was.
Gotcha.
This is GymleaderNate here, and I am happy to be Team Godzilla because, you know, my big, angry boy with 2 brain cells who just get mad and fight. And he's truly a wondrous force of nature.
Yeah, he's causing a lot more good than harm than I'd say.
Yeah.
And if you're listening to this, you're listening to the bonus episode where we're going to kind of talk, and we have a lot to talk
This might
about
be our longest
for
episode.
Godzilla X Kong, the new Empire. New umpire.
The new umpire. King Kong plays baseball in this one.
He does. Well, technically,
Ooh,
yeah,
honestly.
he does use a bat. He has a bat in the movie.
Yeah, he does.
I guess. I mean,
so-
it's something that is stick shaped.
Fair.
Well,
So this is going to be a spoiler review.
honestly, the best way to describe this movie is if you're, a Godzilla fan and you've seen any of the 60s, 70s, like Showa era stuff, like Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, Godzilla versus Gigan, Godzilla fucking Ghidorah, 3-headed monster, classic 70s.
List 3 more.
List 3 more. Invasion of
3 more. Yeah,
fucking
3 more,
Monster X,
Astro
Astro
Monster.
Monster,
Oh,
Mothra and Rodan, bitch.
All right, cool. Yeah, no, I was like, if you're a fan of any of those, only those.
You dare? But it's very much, this movie is that classic cheesy campy 70s, like you really can't take it seriously because the moment that you do, just all logic begins to just fucking fall apart.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's like you can nitpick this movie, but like to me, I'll say it's weird because I can't complain about the movie because it's like my expectations were low, and it's like it's what it is. Like if you think of kaiju movie and you want to see fights, that's what this movie is.
Yeah. I feel like since they started the newer Western ones, it's like they've just progressively made them less and less serious and more get the monsters on the screen, get them fighting.
Just like the Showa era, I
For
guess.
real.
Like Gibbledang was saying.
Which, it's funny because looking back at like all of the movies, I rewatched like Godzilla, Kong, and then King of the Monsters recently. And honestly, King of the Monsters, it was boring at first, but going back and watching it, it does have the best balance of like giant monsters, the seriousness, the silliness. Like I think that got the tone. Like if they kept going in that direction of like this big kind of like fantastical apocalyptic route, like that would have been fun. But they definitely hard left turned into
U-turn.
cheesiness into
into pseudo Pacific Rim.
Oh, not even,
like...
dude. Pacific Rim is not.
I don't know about that even.
It's funny. I rewatched Pacific Rim like 2 or 3 weeks ago. That shit is so boring. It's too like it's. I love Guillermo del Toro.
Really?
But it's like it's like so.
Because I also
dark
happened to watch
and
it literally
gritty
recently.
Like
I loved it.
Oh.
I loved
And
it
I
watching
haven't.
it.
Yeah, it's.
I rewatched it, and then I watched 2 because I had seen original Pacific Rim again, And when I rewatched 2,
God.
I was like, I don't know why everybody hates on this one so much. It's okay.
Yeah.
Definitely not great,
I was
but it's okay.
just about to
Yeah.
say that one was garbage. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay to think that.
Robots.
Yeah. Oh, robots. It's okay then. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's in Hollow Earth. Kong is really lonely. At one point, and they explain that Hollow Earth hasn't really been explored. It's only like 5% or whatever. And so at one point, King Kong finds the secret area where he finds a bunch of monkeys, and he finds a little monkey that like he gets along with, like Little Kong. And it's funny because Gym Leader Nate and I turned to each other at one point in the theater, and we were like, "Oh, it's like Kratos and fucking his son."
And
Like
his
a
son
bro-
Atreus.
It has
Yeah.
the same like vibe.
Yeah.
Especially because he's carrying an axe, and like that's the weapon you use in the latest God of War stuff.
But speaking of, going back to the comment I made earlier where King Kong swings a bat-shaped object, there's a point in the movie where King Kong swings the little monkey boy as like a club at 3 other fucking apes.
That's my favorite
It
scene.
Yeah.
was so good.
He picks up and beats the other ones with him.
And every time the Kid Kong showed up, I could not take him serious. I was like, I feel so bad because he gets knocked around like the whole movie too.
I love him
but
though. He's my favorite
just kept
character.
laughing.
I really think
yeah, he's cute.
his
yeah.
name is Suko. They never say it in
He has
the
a
movie.
name?
Suko. Okay.
Yeah, they never say it in the movie, but
That's-
all the
yeah.
advertisements and all the toys and shit like that, it's all Suko.
Like toys and
Yeah.
stuff. I was confusing him with Shimu, which is the other
Which is the ice
new
ones.
kaiju.
Ice,
But
yeah.
yes, yeah. But yeah,
Yeah, so it turns out that Suko is I think he's the son of like the main bad guy, the Scar King. It looks like that full like the main
Something, yeah.
villain, just like
He's colored like him,
yeah,
but
yeah. And there's a moment in the I'll get to it.
it's yeah.
But basically, Suko at first kind of leads him back to where the Scar King has been living, where it turns out that like Godzilla might have sealed him there in Hollow Earth like fucking
Mhm.
years,
Like years ago.
yeah, a couple years no.
Yeah.
Oh
2020.
god, this movie plays it so fast and loose with retconning like the ancient stuff that happened
history.
too. That's why it's so like
Mhm.
fucking god.
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't realize this
It's very much just.
I didn't realize this
Oh, go on.
canon. I didn't realize this canon also like implied that the Kong, if left to his own devices, would also live like eons, just like Godzilla. I didn't even think about that, but that
Mhm.
must be the truth because Scar King literally existed like in ancient times and then was just still there and still the same like when they found him in modern day.
Yeah.
So he too like just doesn't age like Godzilla.
So
It's so weird.
Godzilla or no. So King Kong is led into the the secret society of like apes that live underground in like this crazy lava volcano section of Hollow Earth. And that's where Scar King kind of pops up and is like, "Oh, who's this fucking guy? This guy's like trying to test my soldiers, whatever." Immediately Scar King feels threatened and challenges Kong to a fight. Kong, it looks
Yeah.
like Scar King has the upper hand, but then Kong fucking just wipes the floor with him, which causes Scar King to bring out his secret weapon, which is Shimu, this ancient ice kaiju that he managed to like use mind control
To
to
control with
with
the
like a
guard.
crystal.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Basically.
that's a secret weapon. He
It's-
uses her on Kong, which like fucks up Kong's hand, and Kong has to go to like the human characters and get the fucking glove. God, I don't even.
Power glove.
Does
At this
someone want
point-
to take
at this
over?
point-
Baddest thing
I
ever.
got it. At this
Sure.
point, the humans
go ahead.
are down in Hollow Earth as well because the humans started receiving signals from Hollow Earth that something was happening.
Yeah.
Which also happened to trigger
Like a distress
Godzilla.
signal.
And during this time, Godzilla has begun to move again and has begun to
Power up.
power up, seek out sources of nuclear energy, and absorb them to get stronger. This is after a nice opening we saw at the beginning of the movie of Godzilla doing his thing and just showing that he's still showing up to just squash kaijus in random cities, and then he goes back into the water. Because they go really hard on Godzilla has no morals. He just, if a big monster appears on land and is doing stuff, he's
like
like,
territory.
get the fuck out of here. This is my planet, and he wants to fight them because
Yeah.
he's territorial.
Yeah.
there's like a line of dialogue where they're like, Kong has to stay in Hollow Earth and Godzilla protects the like
The
Earth surface.
their own
And
domains.
you know, Kong comes up for like a root canal at one point, and they're like, we got to get the fuck back down like as quick as we can.
Yep.
And so it's like, okay, so you learn these like territories.
Exactly. And so at this point, Shimu has injured Kong, and Kong seeks out the help of the humans who are down there. And the humans just so happen to have been working on an augmentation for Kong's right hand specifically.
Maybe it can adjust.
Which they also happen to store down here in a
right
storage
next door,
unit.
running distance from where Kong was.
Yeah.
That's
In a short flight away.
Basically.
I remember watching that and him being like, "Oi, it's about time that we bring in the fucking." I don't know why it's Jason Statham. He's totally not that. But it's like, "Oh, it's about time we bring in the secret project that got canceled, the secret prototype that that. Oh no, there's no way you can do that. Yo, I'm gonna do it all right." And then there's the other character. It's like, "What's he talking about?" And then they do the whole exposition where it's like, oh, back in the day, we were working on this Titan enhancement program.
Like prototype.
Yeah. So they happen to have made this prototype. So they go and get it. They put it on on Kong's hand.
Basically, honestly.
Basically, that's his role.
It's the Infinity Gauntlet.
So they put the gauntlet on
Thanos'
Kong's
hand.
hand. And it just so happens this gauntlet is also equipped with giant injection juices. They're like, don't worry, the injection juices will take care of his frostbite. Yeah. How they were prepared for frostbite specifically, I don't know. But
well, it's just injection juices. They don't they help with everything.
They just do everything.
Yeah, not just frostbite.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, maybe it's
They're
like
just
all
super
contingencies.
juices. Okay. So
maybe just like fire resistant, all the
pumping
poison.
Him full of the super juices, he'll be feeling just fine later.
Yeah, boy.
So Kong has his glove of power. You know, he's all charged up. Meanwhile, the humans down here have discovered the ancient civilization of the Iwi.
Can I talk about this part real quick?
Go ahead.
About the humans? Okay, sorry.
I have something I want to say after that too, but go on.
Sure. So I just wanted to point out that like, so the humans, there was a point that like, this is what like nitpicky, but it like annoyed me because originally the plan, according to the humans, was they were going to take 3 people to Hollow Earth to look for like at what's going on.
Because their
station
was like damaged.
Yeah, they're like, we're not getting a response or whatever. So they're gonna send like an actual like pilot / like military guy with a gun, like the veterinarian of the kaijus, and then like the main research lady, and then like the kid and they wants to come, as well as like the podcast guy from the previous. Yeah, and it's like, so there's 5 people, and the guy with the gun quickly gets ganked off. So it's just the 4 people unarmed, like with knives and whatever they have.
It's just crazy that they would send such a short team down there.
Yeah, it's like this. You're going to like the most dangerous place known and like uncharted territories. Like you think you would send like the aliens, colonial marines, or something. Sharp sticks, big knives, bombs, all that. Yeah. But it's just funny because they're exploring the 4 that are left. They find a temple. They push a button, which opens up like a webbed barrier
portal,
like hidden like society. And this is what like was it Iwi?
Yeah,
the Iwi people.
GymleaderNate was. So they find them, and it's like,
and this is
it was just very much
the importance of the daughter from the previous movie,
Kong,
Skull Island, the Skull Island one.
Oh no, Godzilla vs. Kong.
I think it's from from that one. My bad.
And because she is a part of the Iwi people.
Yeah. And so it's just funny how it's like, it's literally like the way I described it from one scene to the next is like it's that's how quick it was as well in the movie, where it's just they find temple, they push button, they find new civilization. Yeah, and then they're there, and then
they find this magical like silk barrier that protects them, and that is also able to be peeled apart just by anybody's human hands.
I do want to interject really quick. So I know we've been super sporadic back and forth. I just want to run something down really quick. Basically, so Kong, you know, you get that he's lonely, you get that he's in Hollow Earth, he finds the little monkey, he finds the evil tribe, he gets his shit pushed in, you know, all throughout that we get sprinkles of like the human activity, and then we get sprinkles of like Godzilla's activity. And it's
Yeah.
been about, once we get to the point where King Kong needs help and Godzilla's powering up and we've already seen the villains and we got the first villain fight, it's already been like an hour and like maybe 10 minutes into the movie. And like
Yeah.
the movie it just chugs so fast, like it just moves so fast. I couldn't tell if it was in the same day. Sometimes it felt like it was in like the span of like a day or two. Which it had to be a day or two because there's a point where Godzilla attacks France at night.
Probably.
So yeah, the whole movie takes place in 2 days. But basically what I'm really getting at is that at this point you're like an hour and 10 minutes into the movie and you've only really seen Godzilla for about like 10 minutes in total.
5 minutes,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
It's like not much.
He did not show up a lot. He really just
Felt like an afterthought.
squished the first kaiju and then sucked up a couple things real quick. And even most of the,
Just
even
a lot
in
of
those
like
scenes,
him walking.
even in those scenes, like a lot of them were like, it was like other people being like, something's happening with Godzilla. What are these readings?
Mhm.
And then it just briefly goes over to what he's doing for like 30 seconds.
Freaking out, and then
then
people
it's
are
already
running.
done. They can cut away.
Yeah, you know what? All of Godzilla's scenes happen like this. He did the same thing like 3 times. He'd show up to a place, people would be like, "What's going on? Godzilla's freaking out." Then he'd freak out a little bit, and then he'd fight a kaiju, and then we'd cut away from the final fight, and then we'd cut back and see that he won, and that happens like twice, I think. No, it happens like
they don't really show the fight
basically.
happen. They just show him.
It's like 2 or 3
it
times.
happens 3 times. One with
Or it's like
Kong,
a 5-second fight.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I do find it interesting when he goes to get the power that's up in the Arctic, because in Tiamat's lair, because that one's funny to me just because like Tiamat wasn't encroaching on his territory. He literally just knew that if he was going to get that power, he was going to have to just murder Tiamat to get to it. So he just attacked him and that's so funny to me.
I do think there's a line. I think there's a line though. They're like Tiamat's like charging up, and so Godzilla. I think the purpose is that Godzilla senses that and sees that as the threat. Maybe.
No, what they said
don't
was
think
that
so.
I think I remember.
Tiamat lives in an energy like an energy dense like vortex,
like vacuum.
Yeah, from where all the solar flares like send radiation energy, and it's just just where it lives. So like, he literally just had to kill it to get to its den.
It's like she had
so
the
he
most
could absorb
energy.
Yeah, I
then,
guess he just needed it.
So then it's like, what does that even mean? You know what I mean?
Well, it's like Tiamat. I think Tiamat can't absorb it like Godzilla can.
True, but it's just
but lives there.
That's the thing. There's so many powers.
I mean, apparently, as quickly
so
at
many
least.
power scales that have happened in this franchise already that it's like, okay, so there was Burning Godzilla where Godzilla got too overcharged and he was melting everything around him. And then that was happening a little bit in this movie where he was getting hella overcharged and he was really blue. And there's even a point where he dives into the water and it starts bubbling.
That was cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
But it's like, what?
I would think Dragon Ball.
But it's like
Dragon Ball like power levels, really.
Yeah, but they're not consistent and they're not making sense. At least Dragon Ball tends to be like level 1, level 2. It's like it felt like Burning Godzilla from the last one was stronger and more dangerous than this one. But then this one, it says that his power scale is 20 times fucking stronger than he's ever been, which is like, what the fuck does that mean?
Godzilla 20x. So
I love how quick too they were like, he's 20 times bigger. It's like
it's
because they have like
he wasn't
Wi-Fi
20
to like
times
Godzilla.
bigger. They said
just stronger.
Or not bigger, but more powerful. I meant. Sorry.
It's like, how do you know the
crazy.
exact?
Just I like
of his power.
Yeah, that they have. The second that he gets powered up, they have like their iPad notification go off. Like, holy shit, he's fully charged. it's so weird. Like, all right.
Yeah, so at this point, Godzilla's fully charged. It's an hour and 20 minutes into the movie. Kong gets his upgrade, and I guess there's some prophecy or whatever that if the original, if the lone survivor girl from fucking Skull Island, that she was gonna come to Hollow Earth and revive Mothra to save everybody or some shit like that.
Yeah.
But so it's like one of their people who was born on Skull Island would come back to awaken the savior of humanity.
But,
Mothra.
But that's also fucking weird because like Mothra, when basically the girl Gia, she has to do this whole like ceremony thing. She walks up this pyramid and she waves her hand or something, and then Mothra pops out. but Mothra just kind of materializes.
I thought that was
Which
weird
is like,
too.
why?
Yeah.
How does that
Like out of
happen?
nothing.
Because she
It's-
had a fucking
Well, and it
like I know there's a magic origin and everything, but like King of the Monsters
Yeah.
already set up that there is a second Mothra egg. Why not just bring in the Mothra egg?
show the egg. Yeah. It's also funny because it's like in the movie I remember it being like, oh, there's this prophecy she could bring Mothra, and then like the next human scene is she's summoning Mothra, and it's like there's not like a like quest or any build up.
That's
It's
it.
just
Hey, you're here.
like it's literally
Thank
just
you.
like a plot line, like exposition.
Mhm.
Yeah, which
Yeah. It's like here we need to explain Mothra.
We hear
That's
about
it.
things
It's
being
like, alright.
possible the second before they're done in this movie.
They're
over
done,
and over
yeah.
again.
one thing that okay,
Basically, yeah.
things that I've learned because like I've been keeping up with this like ever since it was announced like right after Godzilla versus Kong. Early into pre-production, I don't know if it was going to be a Godzilla Kong movie or just like a sequel to both Kong and Godzilla versus Kong, but it was just about King Kong.
Mm-hmm.
Because early on it was reported that the movie was called Son of Kong. And like,
Right.
especially with the character Suko,
Yeah.
like it really feels like
Sun Kong.
it started, yeah.
Yeah.
It started off as
It's just gonna.
as a, just a King Kong only movie. Who really fucking carries
I mean, it's
it.
almost the same still.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Kong is like the main character, and it's
But
great.
not
still.
only that, there was also
Godzilla's like a cameo almost.
there was a press release screening or pre-release screening that actually showed that Mothra wasn't in the movie. It was an entirely different kaiju called like Phosphora. And she had like a different role or something. And there's like concept art, or I think there's like pictures you could find.
Oh, that sounds. You look that
But
up.
one thing I noticed was that like all of the iwi stuff, all of the underground stuff, it felt like pickup shoots, reshoots. Like, oh shit, we gotta add Mothra in. Like, here, Gia, stand against this green screen, because there were so many like close-up shots with just white backgrounds of like, like it just felt very
Yeah.
like tacked on at the end.
Yep.
Like yeah. So
Very true. And
it's a little
so
bit of tidbit.
plot wise, Kong goes back to fight the Scar King now that he has
Oh,
the glove.
and they're also trying to. The Scar King's also like on a march with his like fake slaves.
oh right, he doesn't go to fight them; they show up.
His soldiers.
They kind of.
The Scar King found the Iwi.
I always say.
the Scar King
slaves.
found the Iwi people, and so
I guess they're real slaves,
they're
but they're
real
fake
slaves.
slavery.
just doing
Yeah,
just
but they're-
doing
it's
nothing.
just-
Oh, that's
Yeah, I make the joke because when Kong shows up, they're all moving things, and it's like, so they've been moving things around for like millennia, and like they're moving rocks
Moving
around.
rocks.
That's basically all, and it's like what like it
There's
doesn't build to
clearly, like,
anything. There's
overseer
no
monkeys who keep the
Yeah,
other monkeys
so-
moving rocks, but we don't know why they're moving rocks.
you don't see that.
yeah, they're just it's just
they're
busy
making
work
a rocket
almost.
ship. They're trying to get to the
A
to the
rock
surface.
it ship.
Ooh, with them, yeah,
Let's
Okay,
call back to
nice. I
our
like that.
to our rocket ship.
Our sci-fi one.
So,
Yeah, that's what I wanted to see this whole time.
what Kong and the humans didn't know is that obviously Scar King was informed of the location of where the humans are, and the
Yeah.
fact that there's portals there to get to the surface. And he's like, "Good,
Which,
I can
yeah,
finally
forgot.
get to the surface and conquer the surface world." So he takes
Yeah.
Shimu out of her lair and rides her, like standing on her back, and him riding Shimu leads his warriors to the hidden alcove where the Iwi pyramids are, crystal pyramids are. So they get there.
I think during this too, Kong goes to the surface in Egypt to
True.
bait Godzilla.
Hey,
At this
come
same
on, I need your
time,
help.
Kong, yes,
Yeah.
Kong has gone to the surface to try and get Godzilla to go down to Hollow Earth with him. So Godzilla obviously senses him, finds him in Cairo, and just straight up just
Like,
dukes, just
ballin',
all
brawling.
brawl, all business immediately on site. And
yeah.
Kong is literally trying to drag him down into Hollow Earth. And eventually, how does he get him down there? It was
Mothra. So
Mothra shows
pops
up.
up with the
Mothra.
little girl who she brought the
Yeah.
girl there for some
Yeah,
reason.
yeah, she's there too.
And then
Yeah.
and then they're like,
In danger.
All right, fine, we'll fight. And then they all go down to Hollow Earth and they fight Shimu and Scar King,
Scar
and it's
King.
Mothra, Godzilla, and King Kong versus the armies or whatever, in like this cool zero gravity fight that's just, I don't know, it's
That
cool
was
at first.
crazy.
It's
That was so funny.
I liked it. It's fun. Godzilla does some crazy ass like acrobatic shit, which is funny.
It's just one of those things where like when you look at it objectively, it like, I don't know, I just am really looking at the words I'm saying when I'm like, yeah. So that part when Godzilla was fighting the other kaiju in zero gravity, and like just saying that
Just
just
like a
makes me
flip
be like,
and
Jesus
shit.
Christ, I can't believe that's a sentence. But
See, that's why this movie's dumb as hell, but it's like entertaining.
it's
Yeah.
so entertaining. It's so like,
Yeah,
it's
like, that's
dumb in all the right ways. So like the reason why the zero gravity happened is because the scientist podcaster guy they brought with them basically learned from the Iwi people somehow through three hand
They're
gestures,
telepathic.
that they have a mechanism where they can activate this ancient technology, bring the two pyramids together, and it will cause anti-gravity for a few minutes, and then everything will stop and slam back together. So they do that in the middle of the fight to try and give them a chance to win because they brought so many monkey warriors with them. Then as all of them are trying to get a one-up on each other, the Scar King makes his way to the portal because it's zero gravity. And then when gravity returns, because the ceiling gravity pushes up and the floor gravity pushes down, everybody who's like near the ceilings falls towards the ceiling, and they all fall into the portal back to the surface.
The portal.
So the portal spits them back out on the surface, where Scar King immediately sees all the running people, and he's like, yes, death, and gets Shimu to start lighting them all up.
Rio de Janeiro.
And Rio.
Yep, with the big Jesus statue.
Yep. Really a
With
very
Godzilla.
fun scene where Shimu's appearance like causes a tidal wave, but then the tidal wave freezes solid. I was a fan of that. That was cool.
It's funny because we were watching, so they fight in Rio de Janeiro, and as we're watching, we're also, I think all of us were thinking like, oh, all the people that are like dying in this and all the destruction.
Hundreds of thousands dying in this movie that they don't comment on at all.
Yeah, they just needed one scene.
Because none of them were prepared for this.
They just needed one scene to say like, oh, all these people evacuated or all these people went somewhere else. Because like it's so distracting, the amount of like destruction and like death that's going on. And it's funny because like I remember thinking, trying to justify it, like, oh well, they're saving the world. No, they're not.
It's because like they do this often too. Like in this movie, we saw Paris get destroyed. We saw like Rome. We saw Rio de Janeiro. That's 3 in one movie, and I'm probably forgetting a 4th. And it's funny because you compare this to like -1, where all the destruction's really emphasized. This movie, it's like, all right, they keep fighting, and it's super goofy, and we're gonna use a monkey as a bat. It's just so like, weird.
In this moment, Scar King wraps his whip around a building, and he throws the building at Kong, and it's like, also, it's so startling to see a universe where they're like, it's been a while since the attacks began, but we've done nothing to prepare. All the cities are completely still defenseless. The humans still just assume their basic military can stop Godzilla, even though they know that's not true.
I will say that's not technically true, only because like Monarch, which has come out last year, which Monarch's been doing a good job of being like, hey, there's fucking people get text alerts, which I think you see in this movie too. There's like there are like
updates and like
updates,
some parameters.
And they have like underground shit, you know what I mean? Which I just think they needed to re-emphasize that in this fucking movie.
Yeah,
like,
maybe Brazil.
Because I hadn't seen that.
Maybe
TV
Brazil
show,
couldn't
so
have
no
it.
About any of that.
Because all that stuff is established, but it's like, man, this fucking movie.
Show it in the movie then,
dude. Like,
if you established it in the show, just show like a barrier going up or something.
Yeah, they showed like evacuation, like people going down into like bunkers,
like procedures or something.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, just show it. One, like you said, one scene. That way, just remind the audience. I mean, in case they hadn't seen the other ones too, or seen the show.
Not
It's like,
everyone's dead. A lot of people are out to
That's
safety.
insane.
It's funny. I was thinking right now. This reminds me of Man of Steel, but like upping the ante because there's like so
Oh
much
my
more
God.
destruction.
Really?
Where it's like, yeah, I think that's why it's like so distracting. It's like just, I don't know.
Now I'm
But yeah, I think
I'm really excited to see how -1, a sequel to
Mhm.
that, would do like a kaiju battle.
oh
Because like, yeah,
Mhm.
that would be completely
Yeah.
devastating, and it'd be like, fucking hell, how do people react to that? You know?
Yeah.
Sheesh.
That would
yeah,
be,
it's
that
like,
would
oh,
be
there's
insane.
2 of them. Oh
Twins!
fuck.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh god.
so right. So they're all fighting on the surface in Rio,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and eventually, I mean, it's just a fight. I know. There's like,
Yeah.
one time, oh, maybe Scarface will win. Oh,
Godzilla
no.
punches.
Oh,
Shimu
Godzilla's-
punches.
like,
Godzilla punches.
Yeah.
Kong
There's
punches.
the moment in the
It's like,
trailer
yeah.
where like King Kong throws Scar King at Godzilla, who hits him back to.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
That part was
he
cool.
uses his tail like a baseball
Yeah.
bat,
Like baseball.
and smacks him
Yeah.
back, and then Kong catches him again mid-air. That
Which
was
is like-
hilarious.
Yeah.
That's cool, but it's also that was
and
already
they
spoiled in the trailer.
Yeah.
I think the little monkey also shatters the like spine that they use to control Shimu.
Yeah,
So now
yes.
Shimu is also like a good kaiju
Yes,
and
the
supporting
monkey
Godzilla.
has-
And
Little Monkey
they-
showed up to the fight with Kong's axe and uses
Mhm.
it to
The
break
axe,
the
yes.
crystal that's been controlling Shimu. And ultimately, that's
so
what saves the
Shimu-
day, because now Shimu won't
Yeah.
listen to Scar King.
And this part's sick because like after Kong catches Shimu, Scar King, Shimu freezes Scar King, and he like slams him down and just
breaks
shatters
him.
him, and like
I
it's
thought that
like
was cool.
pretty sick, honestly. Yeah, no, it's like it's so fun and goofy.
Shattering.
And then I think that's just the ending of the movie. Really, is there anything after that? Because I don't think it.
No,
Like,
they literally...
Just the humans being like,
The-
oh, there was
So
Go on.
I think this might be. I thought they would have said it, but this might be the first movie where like
Mhm.
Kong is a king. I thought they would have been, because throughout the entire movie they've called him Kong.
oh, he's really a
He's
king.
just been
Yeah,
like he's
yeah.
just been fucking Kong.
He's always
Kong.
called Kong.
But now it's like
Yeah.
this
Even
is
on the,
King
like, titles.
Kong, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe
because-
that's the next movie.
'Cause,
Really,
yeah,
is
it's-
like
Yeah.
the Kingdom of
Because
Kong.
now he's
Ooh, yeah,
the new empire, like king of the like
Kongs.
the apes that were like down in the Hollow Earth. But yeah, I think the only other ending is just the humans. Like the Iwi girl decides to stay with the scientist lady instead. That's like all really.
and not staying in Hollow Earth, and then it literally just shows like
yeah.
Mothra goes back and repairs the little hideaway
They'll
place
high
for
five.
the Iwi, and then
Oh yeah.
Hiding
and
place.
then Godzilla literally just goes back to the Roman Coliseum and curls up and goes to sleep like a sleepy kitty.
yeah.
Yeah.
Super cute.
And
Yeah.
and then King Kong just like goes down to the people back to Hollow Earth with Baby Kong, and then they see all the people and all the monkeys in Hollow Earth, and they're like, "Oh, we did it!" And like Shimu's with them, also roaring like, "Oh, we did it!"
Yeah.
And then that's
yeah.
literally credits. Like,
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
very abrupt. I think we were all kind of like, "Oh, is that it?"
Yeah, it's just literally a movie that's like, do you want to see kaijus fight? Here's the movie. Like,
I
it's like those like fan compilations of all the like fights, but like a legit one almost, you know?
I think, yeah, this was definitely Kong's movie. He was honestly the best kaiju in it. Even if they equally gave Godzilla the same amount of screen time, just what they did with Kong's character was really fucking cool for just a
Yeah.
giant
yeah,
ape that can't really speak.
Oh, definitely.
There's a
And we-
point.
Yeah.
One of my favorite moments in the movie actually is the first time he gets ganged up on by the little monkey and 3 other monkeys. He's
Oh,
taking them
yeah.
all out, and he kicks one off of a cliff, but it like manages to grab the edge of the cliff at the last second, and Kong goes to help him up, but the monkey fucking pulls out a dagger, a bone dagger, and tries to stab him. After Kong like lifts him back up to his feet, and then Kong's just like, "Oh fuck this," and just kicks him back off the thing. I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Sparta kicks him.
I'm
down
like,
the-
dude,
down
like-
the p-
I like the
Yeah.
honor that like they made him a very like honorable kind of like noble leader.
Mhm.
It was
Yeah.
really cool.
It's like
Yeah.
right
I
when
mean-
he shows up, that's his whole thing. Is like he like with like the fake slavery and like the
Yeah.
monkeys
We can
moving
just say
rocks.
it's slavery, guys.
get-
It's okay.
No, yeah, it's
the
real slavery. It's
slavery
fake
with
work,
no
I guess. I don't
purpose.
know.
They're like, all right,
Yeah.
slaves, look busy. What
Yeah.
do
Oh,
we do?
oh, rocks, rocks, rocks,
The
rocks.
boss is coming.
It's just passing us in a circle. Yeah, maybe.
And so the like
Just
overseer,
two of them by the
like,
water cooler,
kick-
just
kicks
chatting.
down the slave ape into the dirt, and then Kong shows
Uh.
up and just reaches his hand down and like offers him a hand to like lift him up, and it's like
That also led to my second favorite Kong moment in the movie. There's that monkey that knocks down like the older monkey. Kong helps him up, and then that one starts to get up in his face and starts yelling at him. But you just get a
Yeah.
POV shot of just like of Kong
Like punch.
like a
Yeah.
straightforward, like almost it looked like it was in the middle of the fucking screen. Like he punches this monkey, you hear like coconut sounds, I think, and then like a bunk.
oh my god, that the real
So
coconut
goofy.
sound
I
from
love it.
earlier was crazy. I don't think we talked about it yet, but there's
Oh,
just a
yeah.
moment where
Okay, go
when
ahead.
Kong first gets attacked by the other apes, the last one is trying to get away after he took out the first two, and he picks up a rock and just hurls it like from far away, like that classic like action movie trope. And right at the end, it just knocks into the head of the other ape, and when it does, it makes this hollow like coconut like, and
Yeah.
then the monkey literally just goes like ooh, and like falls. To
Yeah, like dumb face.
It was so funny.
Any other cool moments?
Yeah.
I mean, like, there's Kong using Zuko as a club. That was really funny. That got a laugh.
Yeah, it's my
Uh,
favorite. Yeah.
Kong being a noble guy.
I was like, it was hard for me to take Zuko serious after that, just because it's
He was
like
cute.
I don't know. I kept laughing
He
every
was
time,
sweet.
but he's cute and like towards the end, it was like okay, cool, but it's just funny because they would cut to him and I'm like,
When
Yeah.
like
I like
laughing.
I
when-
can't remember his. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no go.
I was gonna say I can't remember his name, but I like the Ace Ventura guy, like
Oh,
the vet,
dentist.
Oh,
like
Trapper
that
or
dentist,
Tanner or
Trapper.
something?
Trapper. Yeah,
Trapper.
he
Yeah,
was
something.
he was perfect.
He was pretty
because
cool.
I was like, you know what? I feel like in a world where giant animals all of a sudden appear and start wrecking shit, people like Steve Irwin would find a really good lucrative
That's
place in
true,
that
yeah.
response team.
Yeah, yeah.
True. He was just so like
I would say he's probably the one human I was like, oh, cool.
like-
I like him.
he's
chill.
probably like the best
yeah.
MonsterVerse character apart from fucking Bryan Cranston, who died in the first hour of the first movie.
I didn't, before the MonsterVerse even existed.
Really. Yeah, I did
Yeah,
like
BM.
even if they just made it where it's like the only human character in this was Dan Stevens or was Trapper, and he was just a fucking
Yeah,
Kong's vet. Like, oh, that would
like
have been
homie,
good.
little yeah.
That'd be honestly pretty sick.
I will say I liked his taste in music a lot of the times. I thought that was like every time that they would like ride a plane or he would be like flying a plane, throwing on music, and I'm like, cool.
And
like, some
In
bangers,
general,
good
they
soundtrack.
made that his background music too. Just like anytime Trapper
Yeah.
said something witty, and then they cut to like a travel shot, they would go into like 80s
Mhm.
music, and like, it was always so satisfying.
I love, yeah, he was very
Oh,
much
yeah.
like a hippy dippy. Oh man, we all just gotta be one with the universe, brother. Like, don't even worry about it. Look at these big guys. Like, look at how beautiful they are. Like, he's just
Mhm.
He's a refreshing
yeah, it's a super
character.
surfer chill,
Yeah.
bro.
um.
Yeah.
Any other? Well, I'm trying to think of. Oh, I love when Godzilla and Kong square off again. There's a moment where, you see it in the trailers where Kong puts his hands up and he's like, no, like let's not fight.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But then,
Stop,
but then Kong
yeah.
dodges the first tackle and fucking throws a bunch of sand in Godzilla's face.
Yeah,
pocket
pockets.
sands in.
Pocket
Ah.
sand. That shit was awesome.
Just so
It
fucking.
is also really nice
yeah.
when Mothra shows up and just like makes a couple wee 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 Mothra noises,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
in doing so, like literally like Godzilla instantly is like and looks at Kong, and Kong just like nods, and Godzilla's like and they got it, he's in, message
That's
received.
That's the other thing I noticed in this movie too. They gave a lot more humanity to like all the kaiju, but it was mainly through their eyes. Their eyes were
Yeah.
really emotive,
Oh yeah.
like more than any other.
Because there's a lot of scenes of them basically communicating each other so there's no there's no
There
no
are no verbs,
vocalization,
only
no
nouns.
words. Yeah, only nouns and adjectives. No, there was no vocalization, so it was just like you kind of get the like, oh, like what's going on. I think that's also why a lot of that seemed very straightforward, and you can guess the plot.
Yeah.
Like, you can put this movie on silent and kind of understand what's going on.
Do you think that they're called the Iwi people because that's the sound Mothra makes?
Oh,
No, because I
maybe?
think they were introducing the King Kong stuff.
Well, they reveal that the Kong
they coulda
Island
still.
Iwi are a branch of the older Iwi people who like are the worshippers of Mothra.
I wouldn't be surprised because they could have planned it ahead too.
I don't.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised either way.
I
I have a
don't
quick
think so.
question. What do y'all think of the non-kaiju monsters, like the frog that sounds like King Kong, the gooey wolves, the electric flying? What y'all think about any of all
They're
those?
fun. I'd
Any that you
fight
like?
them in Monster Hunter. That's why I'm like, I really wish that they would just continue using like classic kaiju because they're so visually distinct than evil King Kong and evil Godzilla. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That is one thing I was a little disappointed in was that the villains were exact copies of
that
Kong and
sucks.
Godzilla.
Yeah. I do like that Shimu's like bigger than Kong and Godzilla, like a bit bigger.
I did like that too.
But that was kind of neat.
because they
It was
like
oh,
they
shit.
imply that Shimu's like kind of older and
Yeah.
like stronger than
yeah.
Godzilla.
I think she might be. I think they said something where like she might be one of the first kaiju.
Yeah, and she
Yeah,
caused.
she's
the Ice
21
Age.
times more powerful. Godzilla's only 20 times. She's 21.
Yeah,
more
there it is.
times more powerful.
She's 22 times more powerful. I don't know about
Oh.
you, but I'm feeling 22.
Is there anything else? Is there
That's what she
anything
sings in the movie
Yeah.
too.
else that was cool?
No,
No, I think
I mean,
it felt
like it's
pretty straightforward. I mean, a lot of it's
Yeah.
just individual moment to moment neat stuff when it comes to the action.
yeah.
You know, guy
It's
guy
definitely
getting
a movie you
swallowed
throw
by a
on.
tree.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was so annoying because he just like fucking pissing contest, but he also like wasn't that kind of marine at first. It seemed
I don't.
like he was like all of a sudden like you have to listen to me now and like I'm the one, and
Yeah.
it's like what? I don't know. And he gets eaten.
I think that was the
Yeah, it
main
gets eaten
thing.
real
It's like,
fast.
yeah, it's just he was just made to get eaten.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
hey,
basically.
aren't we all? And damn good movie.
Absolutely. God, I'm still getting a little teary eyed
Yeah.
thinking about it.
Yep, yeah. Favorite character was the little girl.
Oh, what a good
movie, man.
It was pretty.
Yeah, solid movie, solid.
That leads me to my next question. So,
Mhm.
let's say, just like at the end of Godzilla, -1, it's you two, and
Okay.
what about a team of 60 other people?
60. Okay.
Okay, and we're
Just like
together.
-1.
So
Just like
Six-
in -1, yeah.
yeah.
You two, you know about Godzilla. You basically, Godzilla is going to be invading, a little town that you guys live in, whatever. Maybe you guys live in Japan. He's gonna be invading,
Oh, one can hope.
Oh,
and you know that he's gonna be showing up in about like a month or two. No, about like 2 months. Let's say 2 months.
2 months. Okay.
And let's say it picks up right after the ending of Godzilla -1. So just like in the 1950s Godzilla American remake, they unnecessarily added in an American journalist who just was commenting on
Mhm.
everything and like, oh yes, isn't that crazy? Oh, we have this. Let me report back to the States. So in the sequel, you two are going to take the place of the random Americans in Japan. You guys get word that
Mhm.
Godzilla's coming back to mainline Tokyo. Somehow he has returned, and yeah, you guys got
He's
about
resin.
2 months
It's
to
risen.
you guys got 2 months to take them down. What do you guys do? What do you do to set up? You got a team of about like 60 people. No
Mhm.
government funding.
Mhm.
None of that bullshit.
This is -1 Godzilla
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's such an easy
Gotcha.
question because immediately I just go to something they didn't try at all. They didn't even consider,
Mhm.
which I see, in my opinion, absolutely laughable. Which obviously you measure how heavy Godzilla is, right? You see how many people it would take to weigh the same as Godzilla. And then you go out and you recruit that many people who are all hookers. And then you get equally as much blow. And then you present to Godzilla the hookers and the blow. And therefore that will defeat Godzilla because he'll be far too preoccupied in order to destroy anything.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll do it let's do it by let's get a quick glimpse of
like step by step
Nate's
gotcha.
plan. So
Flawless.
you know, you get this whole a big beach. You get about a beach's worth of cocaine. You pile it up right there.
A beach of coke. Yep.
Nice.
Beach of coke. And you get just a bunch of like the hottest 10 out of 10 hookers you could find. Men, women, everything in between. Awesome stuff.
We
They're
use
all
science
there.
to make some lizard hookers
Some
for Godzilla.
lookers, yeah. With big liddies and big licks. And yeah, they're all getting ready. You know, it's about a month in, you know, they've all been working out, doing crunches and stuff. Godzilla rises up from the ocean. He looks at like all the hookers. He looks at he looks at all the blow, and for a minute he's tempted, but then he goes, "No thanks, brother. I serve Christ, and I practice abstinence.
Ooh, okay.
It's Godzilla for a reason." Puts his hand out. He turns the other way. Excuse me. Destroys Japan, unfortunately, in the name of Christ.
In the name
Dala?
of Christ.
Wait, so he already destroyed Japan?
Well, no, that
Or
was
is
that
this
was
like-
that was the
that was
That was the response
Nate's
to
plan.
my
Yeah.
plan.
that was Gymleadernate's. Gotcha.
Apparently Godzilla
Okay, so my
is
plan.
Godzilla of God.
Okay. I guess knowing that, what I do is I spend those 2 months converting everyone in Japan to Christianity, the correct thing, and you know, just kind of make it very obvious. Like we put a big church up. We put a church of like Jesus. No, well, I would want to say we put a like a Godzilla on the cross to kind of like like it's a
That's
Godzilla
very
like a
tasteful.
Jesus,
Like the one in Brazil?
yeah, it's a Godzilla,
Like the one in Brazil, the giant statue,
Oh
but
yeah,
instead
yeah,
it's
yeah,
Godzilla.
yeah. It's Godzilla as like but like a Jesus one, so he's like a thorn crown, long hair.
How do you counter
Godzilla.
Godzilla?
Stigmatas.
Yeah.
Oh wait,
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So we get Godzilla.
So you got Godzilla. Okay, so
Yeah, and everyone's
converted-
religious too.
you've converted the 60 people left in Japan to Christianity, GymleaderNate included.
Okay.
And they start
Nice.
building all these churches and these monoliths and statues in honor of Godzilla. And then, so it's about Godzilla's going to be arriving in Japan the next day. And you start to rally everyone, and you start to go, all right, guys, now's the time. We're going to gather up and all kill Godzilla. And everyone, like, starts to turn at you, and they're like, what do you mean kill Godzilla? Godzilla is God. We love Godzilla.
Oh
Godzilla
no,
is
they
life.
believed you.
And you're like,
Yeah.
what do you mean? And then they start to like circle around you, and you start to panic and like look around you, and they start to go, Godzilla, and they like all pull out like knives and torches.
By Blue Oyster Cult.
Yeah, and one guy like throws a torch at you, and like you duck.
Why are they throwing flashlights at me? Weirdos.
But does Godzilla destroy Japan?
Okay, so
Yeah, it
Nate runs, Dala runs through the church, and he escapes, and he goes back to the apartment that you two are staying at. And you're cooking
Nice. Spaghetti.
Gyoza. No, not spaghetti.
Oh, nice.
You're making gyoza, and
Spaghetti.
you got a kitchen knife, and you're chopping up the spaghetti.
Yeah, Japanese
And
spaghetti.
you,
Chopping up the spaghetti.
And you go, Dala,
Oh, hey, honey.
how was work today? And Dala, what do you say?
Fucking stressful. I pull my collar. You're like, geez, you'll never guess the kind of day I had, honey.
Mate, what do
and
you
a
say?
kiss on the neck.
Does it have something to do with lying to all those people about large lizards?
Hey, look, it's not my fault. Like, I saved them, you know, in two ways, physically and
And
spiritually.
suddenly, Nate's eyes start to like glow like an atomic like blue, like white blue.
Ooh.
And then like he opens his mouth and like
Yes.
he's like, "Whoa!" And it's like a white, blue, like ray, and then he stabs you in the heart.
In the heart.
Yeah.
I don't teleport behind him and rip his throat out?
That's from something.
I swear it's from something.
Yeah.
It seems just like a good idea. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, it turns out there's
I'm dead.
Loading